All right, mic check, mic check. More Message Podcast was made. I'm here with my mom today. How you doing?
I'm good.
Good. Some of the things we're going to talk about, we kind of already discussed before, but I just want to have a conversation. I know you have, your life has changed in the last 4 or 5 years, of course, with added responsibility. And the Mother's Day coming up, so I was trying to tie it in with Mother's Day. How can I do it something different this year? But I do think a lot of things that you do, I think people see it from a surface level or just outside looking in. So I kind of want to have it where we bring more insight in detail and kind of speak about it more so in depth than just the surface, you know. So what I can say, I can start here. What's your thoughts on living room, like on this here? This is different than when we first came down here in '99, I guess. I think it was '99 when the first time we ever came to Augusta. I came to Augusta at least.
He is different.
I know when you change stuff around, but just the environment, the room in itself is still a whole lot of memories. At least I think of it being crowded with a bunch of family members, with some who not even here no more. You know.
Yeah, I think of it as the breaking ground of everybody just coming down, and just the setup she had with the sofas in here, the big wall unit, the pictures she had of all her grandchildren, how she had things set up in the house. It's changing because times is changing.
Right.
She's changed. I've changed, and now I'm here with her. So instead of it really being the grandma's house, it has to conform to kind of the new technology we have.
Yeah, and I think about even in the sense of how the house looked. You know, it's smaller. It seems smaller now than when I first ever saw it. When I first saw it, I thought she was rich. I said, "Oh, my grandma lived in this big house, big pool in the backyard." And you know, now I feel like it take me 7 steps to get from the front to the back. But when I was younger, you couldn't tell me that it wasn't the best, biggest house in the world. Central air, something different than where we were from. We didn't have that. I remember running outside, you know, being sweaty and all them gnats they had outside. Even the development of this whole with everything around here, just the neighborhood is different. With a bunch of trees in the back now, and now a bunch of houses, not that many gnats no more. So I always feel like things like stuff like this are, I don't know the word for it, but it feels make me feel like back then, you know, like it's 2001 again. You come in for the first time, so I always try to, anytime I interview family members, that stuff we talking about, like, you know, Karsha or any other family members that I interview, I've always tried to put them in places where I feel like the room means something to them. You know, I remember us visiting and sleeping on the floor here, just visiting, you know, and now it's like it's ours. We made it ours, but you know. So with that being said, though, I guess the first question I want to ask is, you know, how are you doing? Like, how would you describe how you are right now? Just mentally, where you at? You can be honest.
I'm in between losing it and I got it. It's good days and it's bad days. If she having a good day, it's a great day. If she not having a good day, that determines my day. If she's not eating, if she's not allowing you to take care of her, she's very, very used to taking care of things by herself. She don't want you trying to feed her. She don't want you trying to move her. And you're trying to help her, but she's agitated. She don't know what's going on. So that makes it a bad day because now this is a battle we're getting ready to go through.
Right.
I don't like medicating her. I like her to be active and be up. So sometimes it's hard because you have these great, I can go 3-4 weeks and it's just like perfect. She's great. Everything's good. Then boom, something changes. And it's like you gotta adapt now. They don't have to adapt to you. You got to adapt to their situation. And it's emotionally draining. It's draining.
How much, because we will get into that stuff, but how much would you say you've had to learn on your own, as far as like with trial and fail, or just going to actually get certain kind of information to even understand those kind of days? I know at first you might have been agitated at first, you know, like you might. I remember thinking sometimes, because the funny thing about, you know, grandma, and just to preface this, anybody watching, my grandmother, her mom, suffers from dementia, correct? And so obviously with dementia, what would you compare it to? Because I know I see a lot of memes, right? And I know for me, I'm not, and you could tell me no, we have to depend on it. But I feel like it's almost as if the person that you knew is still alive, but they're not here, or vice versa, rather. Because I mean, they're living, but they're not the same person that you knew. Like the person as you know it, that's gone. So it's like this. It's
Bingo.
a body there. But you see glimpses of them sometimes, and those are, to me, those be some of the good days when I'll do something that I know she don't like, and she give me this look, and she suck her teeth. That suck teeth she should do, and like, damn, like she remember that, those are good days. But then it's sometimes where like they might even know who you are. They looking at you like, who are you? And for somebody that 30, 40, 50 years, it's like, how you don't know me, So how would you describe like the dementia?
That's it. Like, the physical body of the person, to a degree, is there, but mentally they're gone. Emotionally they're gone. Memories are shoddy, and it's scarce. They don't have time to know who you are, and it's been a while for her.
Yeah.
It's been a while. It just progressed over time. It went from not knowing who my name is, couldn't remember Kenny's name, but she know the voices. Car came back down 2021 in February. She didn't no longer know that was Carl anymore. So the memory started depleting. Niecy you couldn't say Niecy now, when she it got to the point where that became foreign to her. So you get to see the progression. So you have to read up a lot. It's
the digression of the memory.
Yeah. Memory, knowing, like, I'm the last of your kid. Like, you have no idea who I am. You tell people, hey, I'm just sitting here talking to my friend. And it's like weird because it's my mother. Like, you raised me 50 some odd years. Like, what's going on? But you got to remember, this is no longer that person. They tell you twice in life a person will be a baby, when they're born and as their age progresses, depending on their health. And this is the stage she's in. She's back to being where she needs us now, me, to take care of her family, where she's taking care of everybody in the family, people who weren't blood but just in the family. That was her. Now it's her turn. She need that back.
How much of a the big decision you had to make on doing that? Because this is not something everybody signed up for, necessarily speaking, like to be that caretaker for their parent, especially not this stage in deep in dementia, where it's like you're gonna have to be there 100%. Like, almost really nothing she can do on her own at this point. So how much of a hard decision was that to make, to be like, okay, well, I'm gonna be the one to go ahead and take on this challenge here?
Oh, I didn't ask for this. I spoke to you about it when I was asked, because we were comfortable. We were in North Augusta. We were great.
Yeah. I just had this conversation with somebody today, and this is funny. Like, it's so funny how stuff works, because I was telling them, like, it's like, I think they were saying, like, they have a similar situation with somebody who kind of helped raise them or raise her, and that she wish she could do more. And I told her, I was like, well, it's a gratifying feeling, when you can do it. But I said, whether you're doing more or not, it don't get better for nobody. Like, it's always, because if you're not doing enough, you're mad at other people for, you feel like they can do more, they're not doing more. Then if you're doing all the work, it's like you still stressed out because you're doing all the work. It's like, it's no win for nobody. It's only a moral win when you realize, like, I'm here for somebody who was here for me, but they didn't have to be here for me. And you start, and you think about the times, the only downside to it is nobody do it for credit, but that person don't really know you're doing it anyway. Like, right. They don't know. So it's like, even so I know, like, for you, and I think that the dynamic between you and Grandma that I always thought was funny, was like, to me, in my opinion, y'all are so much alike that I think that was something that, to me, that was like a barrier, because y'all was too much alike. Sometimes you're too much alike to where, like, you really can't, you could communicate, but But if let's say, I'm gonna say BS, say grandma on the BS, you on the BS, cause y'all both on the BS, y'all alike. So it's kind of hard to communicate with somebody when y'all both trying to be on the BS, you know. So like I always felt like, but I always felt this though, like you're the rough child, I'll say. You're the rugged one. So you're the one, like if somebody owe her something or they supposed to give her something, grandma's so nice, she gonna be chill about it. But if she call you, you're not gonna be chill about it, because you protective of her. Like, no, I don't care if I ain't talked to her in 6 months. You make sure you go over there and give her what you're supposed to give her. You go cut her grass. You go do this for her. Like, you that person. So even if you're not talking, she just mentioned it in conversation. All right, cool. Take that mental note. And now I gotta go handle it. And I feel like everybody had a role with her. All her kids had a certain kind of role with her. But that, for me, when I watch y'all, that was your role. Which is funny, because like even now, what you're doing, I feel like, even though you didn't necessarily ask for this, I feel like with the role you had, that kind of entails the same thing, protective of her. Like you are the protector of her right now. Like, nobody can come see her without coming through you at this point.
Yeah, Nisi had called and asked when we did the 2-year graduation. So I said, well, let me talk to Jermaine. We'll see what we going to do, because this, we roommates. So if I'm going, he's going to do. So let us talk and we'll see. But long as he good, I don't have a problem. So we spoke. You was good with it. And you kind of already knew. We didn't know what was wrong with her, but you knew something was wrong with her. Because I remember you called me at my job and you never called me. And when that call came in, I knew something wasn't right. And you said she hugged you and cried. Yeah. And you knew at that point, you never saw your grandmother cry. Something was wrong with her. You knew that. We didn't know what was, because she good now. They good. Yeah. When the beginning stages come, they're good. They can trick you to thinking, hey, everything good. But we knew something was off. Because we ate that food. And when you ate that food or looked at it, you knew something ain't right. And you said that when you brought food home one time. You was like, man, grandma made this curry chicken. Psh, mosh.
And it don't even look right. The funny thing was, like, and growing to the good cook, that it wasn't nasty. It just didn't taste like nothing.
It wasn't hers. No,
and I was like, okay, either she got a white neighbor cooking her some food, or because it tastes like it was some salt, pepper, and a lot of seasoning. But no pun intended. But yeah, that day it was two things that I three, but I'm only gonna say two on camera. Two things that I noticed, and the other one was, I came here one day, and she had a phone in there. You know, her phone was in the kitchen, and my number was on there, and I didn't pay attention to it at the time because she called me every day. So but I guess she used to forget the number, so she wrote it down, and it took me to when I came here to realize, like, that's why I was there. And I remember, you know how you touched it. I remember almost wanting to peel it off, but I didn't peel it off. And I'm glad I didn't, but. Yeah, definitely her crying that day. I actually have some of it on video. I always look at it every now and then so I can remember the day. I remember driving. I called you on the same street. I didn't even get down the street. It's just that I called because, like, you get emotional. So, like, seeing her like that made me want to be like that. And I don't cry. So, like, and I saw, like, damn, okay, let me call somebody I know I could kind of, be tough with. So I called you because I try not to, cry around you. So I called and I just told you what it was. But, yeah, that's the first time I kind of realized that. So, describe it has changed in the years you've been here, because I remember it was time when she was up and can do, she was more harder to deal with, because she can walk around, she'll just come open the door. So describe the beginning stages of coming here, caring for her, and some of the things, some of the bad day things you had to in there.
Woo. Yeah, when she was mobile, oh Lord, yeah. You don't know what you're coming home to. Packed dishes, packed pots and pans. So you're trying to look for a pot to cook in. It's boxed up somewhere in the garage. The china cabinet stuff, it's put in bags, put in the garage.
I remember she would pack her bags and come to the door like she's going somewhere.
Oh, she's going home. Because this isn't her house. She got to go to her house. She packed this. I'm talking about, this bag was so heavy. Like, my brother and them used to be like, oh my God, how's she lugging this? She's literally lugging it to the front door on the daily. Like, I need you to take me home. Can you take me home? She's home, people, but she don't realize she's home. It's like you don't know what you're gonna come home to. Oh, I got put out every other week. Pack your stuff. You got, and she didn't say stuff. She says the full words.
Girl, definitely cursing.
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to get your ass and get the F out. Just out of the blue, just will come in the room and that.
But I think for you, it was so random because I remember like I might work home whatever, but it'd be 2, 3 in the morning. It's not like she was doing it when everybody's up. It's you deep in sleep. You deep in sleep, and it's like, well, why are you here? you got to go. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but in the same breath, 10 hours later, she'll say it's not home, and she got to leave. So you're dealing with that, and it's other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got other stuff going on in life. You got kids. You got other issues, other things you kind of deal with, and then dealing with that, and then the thought, the fear of how long you're gonna have to deal with it. Is it gonna get any better? All that wear on your brain, I'm pretty sure. And then the good days, like I said, you got good days. At first, it was so far and few between. A good day was just like sometimes a good day was her not even saying nothing at all, just kind of staying to herself, which is really not ideal. You don't want that. You want her to be mobile and talk. Like even like say now, like can you describe a full day? Let's say describe trying to take her to a doctor's appointment.
It's not happening. That's never been just easy peasy. You better be telling her you taking her to see her sister, her brother. She going to visit her mother, somebody, and none of them are living. You tell her that you might can get her out that door. Trying to get her to get to that doctor was like pulling teeth. I got here in 2018. I maybe got her to the doctor maybe 5 or 6 times when we first started out. After the 6th time in 2019, that was it until 2021 November. I think she felt like she kept saying, I know what y'all trying to do. I ain't leaving out here. Dementia people feel comfortable in their surrounding. They feel like if they step out of that, they're not going to return back. And I think for some reason she kind of knew she was sick, but she just didn't know what it was. But she knew something wasn't right. She just couldn't put her finger on it, and it scared her that she didn't want to leave her house.
Right. And that's what I mean when I say like it's glimpses. So this I don't know what to call it, dementia. I don't know what you call it. It's not a disease. I don't know what to call it, but
it is.
Is it a disease?
Dementia is a disease that attacks the brain. It attacks many parts of your body. So
with that, I feel like it's glimpses because even they're aware at some point because she's aware enough to know you might taking me to her home. Like they know that. But it's other stuff they're losing memory. But I think we had, well, at least for me, I had a reason why I've always been able to like either not pay her attention when she was going like spazzing out, and kind of just saying yeah, it's okay, and no one just say yeah, let it ride because she asked grandma. We speak about her. She took in her brother, Uncle Robert, who had the same thing, right? And I got to see firsthand some of the things he was doing, coming in, stealing bananas, putting in his pocket, and they his bananas though, coming in, him telling me, well, we got auntie. It's so long ago, damn. You got auntie, you got grandma in the room. They're sisters. I said, Uncle Robert, you know they sisters? Yeah, they sisters. Is auntie your sister? Yes, my sister. Is Ruth your sister? No, that ain't my sister. But just being mean for no reason. But that's what comes with that, and I see that out in grandma as well. Like, but I could tell. That's why I could tell y'all dynamic, y'all relationship, because I can tell that he loved her a lot, and I don't know if that's why he being so mean, but somehow, some way, it's blocking that love. And I think it's the same way with you and her, because a lot of times she's saying extra mean things, just spiteful things, She don't know what she's saying. She's just saying it, but obviously deep down, it's something there because it's like she's being extra mean to you, and it got to be for a reason. But I think deep down, like they just can't see. They don't have that neurism or whatever. Like telling them that I love this person. This person is taking care of me. This person is there for me. Because he was showing auntie so much love, and she was barely here at the time. Because she was going to her own.
But that's things. Why when the person that's not
the kid get the worst. They get the worst.
Right. Yeah. They're gonna get all the niceness, but the person they got to see every day and deal with, like yesterday. I'm trying to get her to take her pill. She won't take this pill. She smacked it out my hand and out her mouth. Okay. Home care lady in there. Let me try. She rubbing her hand. Oh, hey, so Miss Ruth, you need to go ahead and take your pill. Took the pill 1, 2, 3, then took the juice from her. I said, wow. Said, not a problem. I'm here all the time. I'm the activating one. So, yeah, she's trying to take it from me. But they have their days. Then she have her good days where it's like, I'll take her something. And it's like, oh, sweetheart, thank you. That's my girl. And I'm like, yeah, okay. Because for 2 days, honey, you wouldn't even get up to eat. But she has those days. And you got to laugh at the good and the bad ones. Even when she having the bad days, sometimes they funny because I know my mother. And I make sure I remember the strong person. When she start getting in that mean way and cursing and using the bomb words, I just have to crack up laughing at it because getting mad, it just makes you angry. And she already can't help what she going through.
But how long, and I'm asking this even though I know, I'm asking for anybody that's watching, how long would you say it took you to get to that level of...
Oh, I'm learning every day.
Because I know in the beginning, I remember sometimes me and Tyler talking on the phone or something like that, right? And we'll be like, she was like, yeah, I don't know, man. But you gotta get your mom. My mommy's saying this, but you know, grandma know better. And honestly, we know that because we was able to see a lot of the things that you didn't see. Because y'all even had your own little thing. So even when you come here, which is to me always been a big thing because y'all didn't have the great relationship at that time for you to come here and do that. But because it was your mom, it was like, I'm coming, I'm doing what I gotta do. And you put a lot of stuff to the side just to, a lot, you know, it's like a lot of your own hurt, a lot of your own pain, or, you know, a lot of stuff you feel. And I try to tell people that got moms now, like, you know, you only get one. You only get one. Yeah. So you gotta cherish it, or you gotta make the best of whatever. Now, if you just got a horrible mom, that's different. I don't know about that. I never had that situation. But for the most part, if they did what they could do for you, you know, the best they could. I just kind of got personal differences and stuff like that. You only get one mom, and I can guarantee you, I don't know how I feel, but when you don't have that one no more, it's gonna make you feel. I feel like 1,000 times worse than you think you felt alive, and you might think you're right because you feel this way, or no, I like, for me, I feel like even now, like with I say with my dad, right? Like I don't even have no feeling, feel no way, because I feel like, you know, in the you might feel away at the moment, but if push came to shove and something happened where that person really wasn't there, you just couldn't talk no more, you're gonna feel even worse. You know what I'm saying? Feeling that way. So I try not to carry none of that. I feel like if I ever hear from a call, whatever, cool, we speak. Nothing happened, cool. Because while somebody here, you get that one parent, you only get that one. So while they're here, you want to try to make the best of whatever you could do. Yeah. You know? And I feel like that's kind of what you did. You kind of came and just kind of like, well, even a lot of bad days, like a lot of bad days, you know? Like, I mean, I can see it in you sometimes. Sometimes, I feel like sometimes, and we spoke about it, you know, you've always been a big enough person to even say, like, you know, hey, I'm sorry, I'm going through this right now. Like, you might say something, you know me, I'm not gonna lie, I don't you could be mad, I probably won't know sometimes because I just try to be even killed out, you know, but you'll text me like, hey, I'm not mad at you, I'm just going through a lot, and I'm like, all right, cool, you know, but I know you feel it because you might feel like I attacked this, I shouldn't have said this to that person. So I definitely understand, like, it's probably a lot that go into even dealing with somebody with dementia, because it affects the person. It affects the caregiver too. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure it's 10 times harder when it's your mom. You know, so somebody that really took care of you, you took care of them. So it's like, even if you want to feel like you want to give up, you can't even do it because, like, how can you give up on your mom?
Oh, because there be those days when you do feel like, look, I'm not going through this. I ain't getting up. I ain't doing nothing. But then you calm down. You go out there, peek, check. But I also used to do things like, if you cursing me out real bad and you real nasty, I come, I feed you. I don't sit at the kitchen table with you. I ain't talking to you. What you need me to do? You need me to go in the room with you? You need me to make your bed up? You need me to change something? Oh, okay. Second day shit. You okay? You sick? No, you okay? You need me to do something for you? I put on a punishment. You on the timeout. I'm not coming in there chilling in the kitchen with you right now because you've been being mean. And I noticed she come to me after like a day or two, and she noticed, hey, ain't nobody sitting in this kitchen with me but this dog. And that just gave me a little It gave me comfortability because I'm not going to be, I don't want to sit here and be mean to you when you're doing things and I know you don't know no better. But at the same time, it still emotionally bothers people. So to avoid that, let you do the basic I have to, but I'm going to just put you on punishment and not conversate with you. She hate that.
Within this process, what would you say some things you learned about yourself first that you probably didn't know about yourself?
That I would just drop everything and be in the situation that I'm in, taking care of my mother. Like I never saw that. I never saw that as something that would ever happen. Like that wasn't even an option. It was just like she gonna always be here in Pepperidge, and I'm gonna always keep moving and going wherever I'm going. Because me at 3-4 years. All right, now I think we need more space. We need to do something else. Let's move. That's me. They call me the gypsy of the family because I will move in a minute. But I never saw that. So for me, that was like literally like the first 2 weeks I would sit here and just be like, wow, so this is it.
I told somebody that I said it was hard first coming here because it wasn't the house we remembered it being. When you go for so long and there wasn't no kids here, Grandma was real attentive to things, so she would clean. But when you by yourself, and then she wasn't mobile no more, so a lot of things that she probably wouldn't have forgot to do, she started to get through because she wasn't doing it on a regular basis. So the house wasn't as clean as it is now, or as we knew it to be. I mean, and it wasn't a sense of dirty. I think it was just a sense of her not neglect. It was like cockroaches like throughout, you know what I'm saying, that we finally think we got rid of. I don't deal with cockroaches, so that was tough. This neglect things was we had to kind of bring attention to it and get that right. So and then just make it something we can come to every day, with Grandma, what's some things you learned about her? Like, have you learned anything more about her since taking care of her?
Oh yeah. I learned things about her growing up, coming up. I learned, I'm going to say, I guess I see why. She always said, Michael said she always told him she would never get married. I never knew that. Again, she would never get married again. I honestly, I never knew she was married. I just thought they were separated, but whatever. And what I learned about her is, I guess that one time she did it, she just felt like it just wasn't great for her. I'm not going to repeat a mistake that I feel like I've already made already. And she proceeded to move on. This is why she's so headstrong. I never knew or paid attention to the fact that, honestly, I was the youngest, so I didn't know we all had the same fathers. I'm being honest. They my brothers and sisters, so hey, there go daddy. That daddy. But not knowing she had 4 fathers for 7 kids, and the things I got to learn about her, seeing where she at now, this is why she went so hard. This is why I didn't see her at a lot of events.
I definitely want to touch on that in this part here, right? But when I talk to people, persons, whatever, and I try to tell them about the importance of like trying to learn their parent, because you never know why they are the way they are sometimes. And since you're a kid, they're not going to tell you when you're 7, oh, this happened. Granted, you told us a lot of stuff, so that I was always able to understand why you made decisions you make. Me a kid, I'm 7. I don't agree with something, and how you 27, okay, you 20, so you 27. Like, yeah, your thought process and mine are 2 different thought processes, but you always communicate, and I guess because you didn't get that, you always did it to us, right? But when you really realize some of the stuff that she has been through and done, some of the stuff you can't even talk to kids about. And then back in her era, that it was uncommon to do. It's unheard of to me to tell you, oh, X, Y, Z, and that's why this happened. Who are you? Like, you a kid. I'm not going to tell you that. So I say that to say, like, you mentioned about her going hard and going, like, doing what she did to get to where she had got. I know a lot of times you express coming up feeling certain ways because, you didn't have the mom that did this or did that or showed this kind of emotion and always work. But then you look at all she was able to accomplish and you think of where she came from, it's like, well, if you came from that, then I can understand. But you being young, you never know where she came from yet. It's not like me and you where I know everything about you. Like, we talk all the time, so I know when you was 7, or I don't know how old you were, but you got that gash in your head because the baseball bat hit you in the head. I know a lot of stuff. And I actually seen you. I witnessed you take Ty in the kitchen one time and talk to her and tell her why you don't stop when men talking to you. Why, like, there's certain things you just told us that in that era they didn't do. They didn't just tell you this, like, you just listen to what I'm telling you to do because I know better. But our brain don't work that way. So how much of learning did it take you to do to see, okay, this is why she is with, how much, I guess in general, how much have you learned and what have you learned from her, about her, through taking care of her during these last 4 years?
I learned and see why she all about her family. Going through the family tree, I got to see a lot of closeness that I don't know most of these people, but these are people my mom has like massive pictures of, names on them. These are people I haven't met, but they all have always been bonded, which takes me to why mommy has always been bonded, which is why she will go hard for her kids, the grandkids from outside of the marriage that come in. She gonna always go hard. That's just the type of person she is. If you family, she want to make sure we all good. Her, Dabo, Easterbell, and one time they all lived together. Closeness of her sister Easter and Thelma living. Honestly, one lived 2 doors down, one lived around the corner from her. Auntie basically was always in another state. She always had that closeness. She always been about family. Things I learned about her, that me and her are alike in a lot of ways, so that's why, yes, we do bump heads. She's more softer of me. I got the males in my family, the guys that raised me.
I think you came up different too, like, yeah. Even though y'all alike, you came up in a different, and you came up in a rougher environment. When you think about the projects and think about, you were, for me listening to you talking, hearing the stories, you were somebody who women sometimes were a lot of jealous of because guys liked you. So you had to deal with that, of course. You had to fight. That's just what it was. You had, where we from, you have to fight, or you're gonna get disrespected. And I can't see you just getting disrespected on a daily basis. So that comes with fighting. So I think that makes you rougher. I think Grandma actually told us one time she never had a fight.
She never. You don't want to argue. I done heard her curse out the fathers. I done heard her curse out her friends. But she's never been that person where you in the street and you got to worry about, oh Lord, this mommy about to pop off on this person. You be sitting there like, Lord, yeah, you gonna let that person say that to you? Damn, definitely. Say something, yo.
That's definitely you.
So we different in that aspect. And a lot of things I got to see with her, I made sure I wanted to do different. I wanted to talk to my kids. I wanted communication. I'm going to make sure they know life lessons and things they should know. Hence why you had your bank account since you were 16 when you got down here. So things I didn't get from her, I took and made sure I ran that with you all. Wanting to make sure, like, if y'all tell me, hey, I don't want to go over here, I don't like being over there. What really? Why? Because I'm going to need to know why. Yeah. Okay, so such did that. Oh, so that made you feel uncomfortable? Okay, because we need to check that, and you ain't got to worry about going back. She was different. If I say I don't want to go somewhere, I'm not getting a, well, why? I'm not getting a, okay, no problem. Oh, your ass going back over there. You going to do what I say. You don't do what you want. Never, well, why do you not? Well, right. Why do you feel that? So I wanted to make sure I didn't do that. I know a lot of people say, hey, you picked up all these things from your parent. I picked up a lot of things from my mother, but I'm not taking everything with her. I'm just not doing that. Like, yeah, we're not going to have my kids feeling some type of way, and I'm not going to address the issue that's definitely getting addressed. We're not letting that happen again, and I'm not going to put you in that situation. But that's me. So I made sure things that I felt growing up I didn't like, I'm not about to roll that onto my kids. We're going to do things different. We're going to have fun time. We're going to play. I'm going to jump rope with y'all. I didn't decide to have kids before I'm 30 to sit around and not do nothing with you. Yeah. I wanted 3 kids before the age of 30. Thank you, Lord. Got it. All 3. 1 father. I'm good. So That was another thing I learned that I didn't want. 4 kids, 7 men. 7 kids, 4 men. I didn't want that. I wanted something different. And it's no judgment, but I saw her. I saw the struggle. I saw the brothers have to help and raise us. I barely saw the mother. So, yeah, I didn't want that. I wanted to be able to spend time with my kids. I want them to know who is the parent, who is the person who has the rules and regulations here. I don't want it to be, oh, well, this person takes care of them. You know, I'm working 2 jobs. We're going to manage either way, but I'm going to spend time with my kids too. Because, again, I didn't have that. So I wanted to make sure when I had a daughter, I had some sons, I want to go to games. I want to be involved in stuff. I want us to do things. I want to be silly and ride the bikes and skateboards and go to the roller rink, do things like that. That was my goal.
At this point right now, like, do you ever feel a way that there's probably questions that you want to ask that now they can't get answered? And it's not questions in the sense of personal questions like why you did this, why you did that, why you didn't do this, but more so questions to learn about her where like you really can't get that answer now, so you won't really know, and then nobody's around no more to even give you some kind of insight on that. I asked that question because I know I listen to Daddy talk sometimes too, and when he's talking a lot of time about his dad, he always say, "Yo, by the time I got mature enough to want to talk to him about certain things, he was gone. Like I didn't get a chance to talk to him about everything I want to talk to him about or get the answers I needed from him." Because when I came to that point in life where I can ask this question, ask that question, he died. Now with Grandma, obviously, certain things she just not answer anyway. But as she got older, I feel like she started to open up more because she told me and Ty a lot of stuff that we didn't know. I didn't know that she had a sibling past when she was younger, or, you know, in a fight. Some things she just never talked about. And when we would tell people, they'd be like, no. And then they'll ask Grandma, and she'd be like, yeah. So I didn't know that she had someone bottled in. So you can think about something like that, a sibling dying, being bottled in for so long.
I knew about the sibling. She never talked about it to us, but I heard about it through the family. But Mommy is just not the type that's going to tell you the truth. I learned that. She tell you what she wants you to know. She's not going to sit down and say, oh yeah, Tanya, well, you asked me such, yeah. She's not going to do that. She's going to tell you what she wants you to know. Or she gonna say, well, I mean, that's not nothing. Well, why would you need to know that? Why would that's even a dumb question to ask somebody? Because she's evading. Like she don't, you know. Anytime you put her in a position where she don't feel she wants to answer, oh yeah, she's gonna get real defensive. I learned that early on. I asked her one question and I thought she was telling me right, because that's my mother. Why would she don't need to tell me nothing different? My Aunt Ebel, hey girl. She told me the truth. And at that time, I just couldn't accept the fact that Easter saying this and Carl say that. But Ruth said this.
Yeah.
Easter ain't never lied to me. I ain't never had to go against her. Why would Easter say this? When we moved here and I turned 37, I met somebody that I never knew existed because I was told different. I was lied to. I'm just going to put it simple. And in my face. Literally, I'm in the house. Call you a liar. I'm teasing him, right? But he wasn't. He was right. And from that day, literally sitting at that kitchen table with all of them and Mommy, I literally just wanted to really be like, So you know your whole story is busted right now. So I learned,
but you see,
she's never going to tell you what the truth is. She's going to tell you what she wants you to know.
And that's what I mean when I say, like, even sitting in here, like, that's 5 feet away from here. You know what I'm saying? It's just like so much memories and so many things that happened. I remember meeting your oldest sister for the first time here. I remember everybody having to prep saying, like, don't say nothing crazy, don't say nothing crazy. I'm like, well, what? I don't even know this person. I never knew the story, the background of this person. I knew Grandma had 7 kids, but you said when you're young, I'm not even counting for the 7.
But you did know the background, because remember, I told you we don't rock with that person.
I didn't know until
I said Grandma has an older child that we don't see.
I never
paid attention. You never knew?
Yeah, I never paid attention until I was 16. And that was cool, man. I don't know, but I'm just kind of saying to say, like, it'd be a lot bottled in, but like you said, it's the protection of family sometimes too. So I've never heard of like bad mouth. So like me not knowing is also a good thing too, because that means that she just wasn't spoke about. you know, but that people were either told or trained or whatever to, hey, don't bring this person up. And one thing I say about grandma, you know, even now, like just looking at her, like one thing I say about her, like she's super nice. She can be mean, I guess, if she wants to be, but for the most part, she always been super nice to me. And yeah, it's tough. It's tough to see her now in this because there's times sometimes she do cry. Like you'll see her, you'll hear her, and I don't hear it, so I don't have to watch her, you know. And that sucks because, like, technically speaking, I would love to go give her a hug, but then I don't want to get emotional at the same time. So it's kind of like you gotta kind of pick to like ignore that because you know it's gonna happen and it started happening on a daily basis after a while. So I got used to it, but if this person for so long, for 20, 25, 20, almost 30 years, you never seen get emotional, never seen upset. You know, you seen upset, but you never seen like crying, never seen show weakness. And I kind of think y'all got a lot in common when you mentioned her not wanting to get married, or it failed, or she made a mistake or whatever, and she felt this way. And I kind of like feel the same with you. I feel like I've never seen you, and I guess it's why I'm the way I am. I never seen you put so much in the opposite sex, like a gender, a man, a boyfriend that you had with. Like you always just did your thing. I'm gonna do me. Like I'm gonna be happy with me or my kids, whatever. And I think that's something y'all two got in common a lot too. Like it just never was a thing. I've never seen you go. I see people in real life, they'll go crazy, or, you know, about this and lose this and miss spending time with their kids for this. But I've never witnessed that of you. So I think that's something you and grandma got in common as well. So like now you've been doing it for a minute. Has it gotten any easier at all?
It don't never get easier. It actually just get harder because you know that end time is gonna come. You know it's coming. You know by the progression. You know by looking at them. You can tell by the weakness every day. You can tell when they're not eating. You can tell because we have hospice coming in here daily now. So you just never know. It's traffic in and out all day, every day. You don't know what day could be a day you wake up and she's not active and mobile and need me to do anything. It gets harder every day because every day you see something different. Something may be weaker. It doesn't get better. It just degresses each day more and more.
It did that, and I know you said don't get better, but while it's degressing each day more and more, and you typically not seeing it each day, you might see it week by week because you hear it all the time. Is that something that you kind of pay more attention to now knowing that, like, I gotta pay attention to every single thing, like even the small things you think you don't have to pay attention to, you kind of do, because that can determine the longer her life is too.
If I see she's not really eating, I gotta find ways to get around that. Even if it's just giving her some applesauce and maybe some cake, something to put in her stomach. You gotta find ways. Days when she don't want to get in that shower, I try to throw on the back in the day Al Green, Teddy Pendergrass, Bobby Womack music, kind of soothe her into it. I tell her things like, hey, your sister them coming over today. You want your mother to come, right? All right, well, we got to get you cleaned up. Sometimes it'll work. 9 times out of 10 it'll work. Sometimes she'll buck. But then I just got to remember, it's the body. It's not the mother. The mind just taking over. And maybe today is just a day that's not a good day for her. She entitled to still not have a good day. It's weird. It really drains you mentally and it drains you emotionally. The physical part is not that bad. Watching them it's horrible.
What would you say if you had to pick an event or a time? What was probably the worst time you had to deal with her during these 4 years? Or I guess a time that you just vividly always gonna remember, like this particular day or this particular time.
This time, it wasn't even an event. She went in that kitchen and did something with that spaghetti and cut up this onion and did all of this extra stuff. And I knew from that point it was over with. Because what are you doing? Yeah. Honey, it was done.
I remember you texting me that day.
That's when I knew the physical part, I needed the help. Because she literally tried to take the top of the pot and hit me with the pot top. And I was like, oh yeah, Niecy, Michael, somebody got to get down here too. This ain't getting it. She getting a little aggressive, so what we need to do? She just tried to hit me with, and it was hot. So yeah, I was dead. I'm never. I can literally see it in my head playing till this day. And we was right there in that kitchen. I see it.
Because I'm in and out a lot, so obviously, when you go through her and what I see is always gonna be different.
It's different, Jermaine. Number one, you're a man. I'm just going to tell you this. Long as you're a nice looking man, your grandmother will smile. She will laugh. When that male nurse come in, oh, I know, Jim. but just sit by me. Don't touch my foot to me. But he's a man.
Yeah.
Whenever you come in, Jermaine, this is your grandmother. Oh, hey. Mm-hmm. You've never got the butt in. You never got the you need to get out. You never got the you ain't gonna be shit. Ty got that. You've not. Yeah. You a man. She's you never... are nice. And she always remembers you. It's y'all always had that.
Yeah.
It's always been something with you and grandma. I tell people that I'm like, she never attacked Jermaine. Boy, she love that boy to death. She never say nothing negative, bad, never. I don't care what Jermaine come in that house and do. She smiles. She's happy. She remembers him. She know who that is. Me, I get the nasty looks. I said, I watch her with my son. She different. I like that though. You don't have to ever get that butt end of it. Dawn has never got the butt end. You have always escaped it, Jermaine. Pat yourself.
Yeah. The only one time she said something, it's not even negative, it's the only thing, right? Is when she would get ready to go. So she would pack her bag like she's going somewhere, right? And at the time she knew I drove, I'll be in and out. She'll be at the front of the door sometimes, in front of the garage. And she'll come in and she'll come sit down. She'd be like, what's going on, Grandma? None. She'd be like, I need you to take me home. And I used to, there's times where I could buy time where I'm doing this, I'm going back and forth, I'm not doing it, I'm just, and she just watching, she waiting, she'll get tired, she'll go in the room. This one day she just wouldn't do it. And then, I guess because when she realized I wasn't taking it, she was like, I thought you was nice. And it hurt me. It was like, I felt bad because I couldn't take her, but I was like, well, I'll take her around the block. So I ended up taking her around the block like 3 or 4 times, brought her back here, and she thought she was home. She was home, though. But the worst day, for me, it was very recently. I think it had been Christmas time. Or it had been Christmas. This is the most recent, but and that's when I knew. I've always known, but that's when you got to kind of really deal with, you ain't got that much time left. And it's she came out here, it was Christmas, girls out here, we all just talking, playing, laughing. And she loved to see the girls. So, even if she mad, bring her in her room, she'll stop cursing and everything. She ain't gonna curse in front of them, nothing like that. She wanted to sit down, and she sat down with her for a little while. She wanted to get up, and she fell. But I ended up getting her, but having to help her up.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah, I had to leave for a little while because that hurt. Just to see her like that, and when the person, you look to one of the strong people in the world to you, ain't even physically strong no more. You start to really think okay, you're not invincible. You know what I'm saying? You're not this. You got to start paying attention to this. And that was the only time where Christmas didn't even feel like Christmas because at the end of the day it was just horrible to me. It was just I'd rather had seen anything different than that. That was probably the worst time for me. But other than that, I never had I hate to see it, but I understand it because I know when you get that age, that stuff's gonna happen. So, what advice, I guess, would you have for anybody that is dealing with this or maybe taking it on soon or thinking about taking it on? What advice would you have for them?
Learn patience, read up on stuff, get into some groups so you can kind of know what's going on, what to look for. Literally, whatever keeps your mind sane, do it. Because you're going to need it. Trust me. Get you a shot, get you a beer, roll up, I don't know. Whatever floats your boat, keep it on deck, boo. You need it, trust me. That's it. Because it's life. They can't help it. You can't change it. You got to go with it.
7 kids. You have to take on most of the responsibility. Obviously, it's not. Well, she has 7 kids, but one not here anymore. Some are sick. Most are sick, rather. how does that weigh on you? Or like, what are some things you think about knowing that physically nobody else really can even do what you're doing, even if they tried to do it?
Honestly, it used to bother me. But I got to the point where I said it don't even bother me no more, because if they came here to help and didn't do it right, I'm going to complain because you ain't do it right. I'm probably not going to feel you're going to do it right, because I'm going to keep calling. I'm going to probably aggravate you. And you're going to feel like, well, if you was going to keep calling, you might as well not just been here yourself. So I just got to a point where I was like, you know what? I can't even worry about other people. It is what it is. If it wasn't for her, my kids wouldn't be here. Who knows what could have happened with y'all? Y'all life couldn't have ended up the way it is now.
Right.
They could have been worse. So at the end of the day, I just said, hey, this is my give back for what she did, bringing them down here. The visits help. Then you guys just didn't want to come back. What grandmother calls you and just say, hey, send them kids' birth certificate and stuff. They need to get enrolled in school. They don't want to come back up there. And you do it because that's your mother. So now that she needs us, this is where I have to be.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I was, I always try to tell people, you never know what position you're going to be in, but if you can give back to that person that helped you, like it's almost like when your mom raised you, or when your mom give you shelter and somebody make it big, you typically the first thing somebody say, I'm buying mama a house, because that's what that mom gave you and gave you a home, so you try to, do it back. And I think that's probably one of the most commendable things. But one thing I can say before, and like when it comes to you is, I mean, obviously knowing you in my life, I've seen ups, seen the downs, seen where we came from to where we at now. So I always tell people I got one of the best mothers in the world. Like nobody could ever tell me different, no matter what. And I think you big us up a lot, and you give us or 3 kids. You got, well, some people say you got 3 beautiful kids. I know you got 1 for sure. I know 1 for sure, but some people say 3.
Stop giving Ty all that credit. Go ahead.
Okay. But one thing I can say is, it's very rare you find somebody like that, that gives their kids their all until they're able to graduate and do things. Then you go get your degree from being inspired by us, and then you going ahead and doing it, and then you stop everything you got going on in life to make sure that the person that gave you life is comfortable towards the end of theirs. Like that's I don't know if anybody ever broke it down like that, but when I look at it and I think of it, it's like it's real commendable and applaudable, because everybody can't say this thing. Sometimes people got so much stuff going on in life, they can't stop to do that. Some people feel like they gave so much early on in life that they have to now live theirs. You took everything and said, wait, I'm gonna stop, I'm gonna do this, regardless of what. Y'all wasn't even on the best of terms at the time, barely was even speaking. So for you to do that, like, I don't know anybody that told you, but I think it's commendable. I think probably one of the better traits of you, because I think people on the surface, because you are protective and because you will go so hard for your kids and for your family, I think sometimes you get that rap as if like you just this aggressive person, and typically it's always on defense, it's never offense, it's always you defending. But because you will step out front line defend, I think that you get this label as if you just this bad apple, like don't bother her. But typically you're never doing a bothering. You always just protecting, and it's the same thing. Like, it'll all go full circle. Now you're protecting your mom, my grandmother, but your mom, and y'all wasn't even on a great term. So most people would have been like, I ain't dealing with that. I ain't doing that. But you started everything you were doing, everything in life, everything you were doing, you stopped it, and you did what you had to do. So I'm pretty sure, even if she can't say it verbally, I'm pretty sure grandma thank you and love you for that.
Oh, I know she do. I know she do. I can tell she do. She may not know it, but I can feel it. Even though she don't know who I am half the time, I think sometimes when she looks at me with certain clothes and certain times when she actually is alert, she kind of know. Just little things she'll say, and she'll say things that just get me all flurry-eyed when I'm leaving, and it's like, oh, you look so nice in that. You always be looking nice, though. I like when you come in here. I'm like, oh, okay. It's like I'm the only one come in here, but thank you.
Yeah.
And I just have to take it, but
that's dope, because like I'm not sure if she that's something she said to you all your life. So it's like to hear it, it's like at least you got to hear it before you couldn't hear it no more,
Yeah, Ruth is not an emotional person, never been. Yeah, I'm very different. That was another thing. That's why we say we love you so much, and she hated it. That bothered her.
Yeah,
I never
I think
knew
one
why.
time she wanted to go to church. You know, I couldn't stand doing that, but and I think I hugged her and I think I gave Dawn a kiss and she was like, "Ugh, you kissing on him for?" I'm like, "That's my brother. Like I love him. You know, like I'm always gonna do that. Like I'm not gonna stop doing it." But she always understood. Like she might have always said something, but one thing about me, I never let that floor me. I always wanted to show love to my siblings and stuff. So
Yeah, she not emotional.
but I could tell like she's from a different. But that's the thing. Like once you learn somebody and you know that, I always accept people for who they are, and then I just move how I need to move when it comes to them. So with grandma, I knew certain things. My pants, like I'm not necessarily no thug type person, but I know my pants sag. It's that I don't do it on purpose, but that's just how it be sometimes. So I know when I feel somebody doing this with my pants, I know it's her. So when so when if somebody do it now, I don't get mad because it made me think grandma. You know what I'm saying? Unless they just do some wild stuff, but if they just do that, I never get mad at all because I always think of grandma. Grandma always put my pants up, but I just never could do it. So, but yeah, for the most part, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to make sure that we was able to just to speak about it and kind of tell people what be going on, because a lot of times you post the memes and you know we might talk about this and how it is, but you don't really get an in-depth feel of what all it entails when you do take this role on or take a role like that on, or you are dealing with a loved one that has dementia, because y'all love each other now. As one person don't even know who you are, but you still gotta love that person, and they love you, but they can't show it because they don't know who you are. So you got a lot of bad days because you're a stranger to this person every day. It's like 50 first dates, but a drama version.
You just got to learn it. You got to do the research, find what stage they in, kind of get with the stages, see what progresses out of there, get whatever resources you can that can help you, and good luck, because it's not easy. It's just something you have to do. You have to do it. If I don't do it, who's going to do it? The nursing home? We don't trust that.
I think that's the main thing. I think the main thing with all this, to put in a nutshell, is the fact that knowing grandma didn't want to be in a home, and everybody being able to, mainly you, but everybody being able to execute and make sure that that one demand, that one request, one wish she had, we able to stick to it and let her do whatever needed to happen the way she wanted it to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Even though she don't have no control over it anymore. I think that's probably the best thing. And then on Mother's Day coming up and stuff like that, like one of the best gifts you can give your mom is actually something she wants, you know? Like not something that you just curated, but something that she wants. And it's what she wants. She wants to be home.
In her house.
Yeah, she don't want to be
she worked hard for to get out the project.
Yeah.
And that is what we are trying to do for her.
Definitely. So yeah, thank you for the interview, and you know, love you, of course.
Love you too, of course.
And, yeah, man, this was good. This was a good interview. Did a good job. You always do a good job though.
That's the Bradley way.
Yeah.